All right. Do you still need to, are you good? Are you good sharpening? You need to sharpen? Okay. All right. So everybody should have their study guide out. Lily, turn around, face forward for me so you get ready. Optimal view. We have Topgolf here, and they charge a one-time membership fee for $15 and $30 per hour to rent a bay. If you've ever been to Topgolf, it's kind of like bowling but with golf, right? Where you just kind of hit the golf ball out into that abyss and hope you get points, right? You get a bay, kind of like a lane for bowling. How much would Topgolf charge a new member for a 3-hour rental? So can somebody tell me, what did you do here to figure out how much it would cost? Dasha?
I need to equation like y equals 30x plus 15, and I got it $5 for 3 hours.
Great. So then you put 3 in for x. Great. Okay, I hear some talking going on. I really want you guys paying attention during this. So then we put 3 in for the x because that represents the hours. So then we get $105, right? 30 times 3 is 90. 90 plus 15 is 105. You did not have to create an equation here. I mean, Dasha did, and that's fantastic. You could have just done 30, 60, 90 plus the 15 at this point, okay? So there's a lot of different ways you could have shown your answer there. Now they want us to draw a line representing this relationship. So remember, we had to fix this so it was the number 15. And then I'm going to start at 15. Why does my line start at the number 15? I'm sorry? Because you have to pay that membership fee, right, before you can start playing. And then it's $30 per hour. So I'm going to go up $30. So that's going to take me to 45 over to 1 hour. Up $30 over 1 hour. Right? So keeping in mind that each of these increments is worth $15. So I go up $30 over to 1 hour, the equivalent of 30. And then I'm just going to connect these as best I can. I don't have a ruler right now, so I just, it's mostly straight. What is the slope of this line? What does it increase by vertically and then increase by horizontally? Dexter? Yep. So my slope is 30 over 1, right? Because even though it just looks like it goes up 2 spaces, it's actually worth $30. What does it represent? What does the 30 stand for? Go ahead, Dexter.
$30 for every 1 hour of rental.
Yep. I'm going to make this one of those obnoxious ones so it doesn't just look like a random L, right? $30. This is my y-axis information. This is my x-axis information. So if you can't remember what the slope represents, you can go and look at your axis. $30, right? 1 hour rental. It's right there in the graph. The answer is there for you. Okay? Let's turn the page. Sean? All right, let's look at these tables. We're trying to determine which of them has a linear relationship. So what am I going to be looking for to determine if it's linear? What am I going to be specifically looking for? Dasha?
Like how much it's changing?
I want to see that there's a constant change, right? I want to see that it would, in fact, make a straight line if I graphed it. So what I did here is I looked at the y values. Okay, this increases by 300. This increases by 300. I see a constant change here. And then I look over here, and these are all increasing by 5s. So right now, table A would be what? Linear or nonlinear? Linear. Let's check table B. Maybe it's a trick question and both of them are linear. This one increases by 150, then by 300, then by 450. This increases by 5 each time. Would this be considered linear? No, because if I simplified those fractions, they're not going to match, right? So table A. Yes, sir. I'm sorry? It would. It absolutely would, because it's a pattern, but it's just not a linear pattern, right? So the next one I would be adding how much? 600, right? And then it would be plus 750. Like I'm adding the next increment. It's a nice pattern, but it's not linear. So explain our thinking. There is a constant rate of change. From the total cost and each month. Are either of these considered proportional? Why, how do you know that so confidently, Dexter? How do you know they are not proportional?
Proportional, it needs to be a straight line and start at 0, 0.
Correct.
Those do not.
These are linear, but they're not proportional because they would not start at 0, 0. Okay, good job. All right, now they give us this scenario down here of somebody bowling. And they want us to describe the slope and the y-intercept in this scenario. Okay. So we have Mariah at Bowl 32. Who's been to Bowl 32?
I've been there before.
I've been there so many birthday parties, right? I saw Mason there once, right, Mason? Yep.
Oh.
My son was at a birthday party. Mason's family was really close by.
Well, actually, yeah.
What a coincidence.
I know. And he actually said hi to me. Some students will not, but he did. It was very kind.
There's a lot of students that don't.
They'll like run the other way. Like it's a teacher out in the wild, right? Like we're crazy.
It's a wild teacher.
It's a wild teacher.
Like wild Pokemon.
Sure, exactly. Okay, so we have Mariah at Bowl 32. We have the amount of money spent. So if I was going to make an equation, it would be y equals, after renting shoes and bowling X games, the slope is 10 over 3, and the y-intercept is 2. So where would that 10 over 3 go in this equation? Y equals, and where would the 2 go? Kendall? 10 over 3x plus 2. So my slope is this 10 over 3. But they want us to figure out what do they actually mean. We're going to explain what they mean. So what does that 10 stand for? 10 what per 3 what?
This March.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but can we get like equals 343 repeating?
You could, yes. Over 1? Yep. Vlad, what does the 10 stand for? What does the 3 stand for?
Then 12 pair range shoes and bowling games.
Okay. Well, the 10 is you spend $10 per 3 games. Right? The 10 is the money spent. The 3 is the number of games. So $10 per 3 games. So what does that plus 2 stand for? That one-time fee is for what?
Renting the shoes.
For renting the shoes. So our y-intercept is 0, 2, and that's $2 to rent the shoes. Right? You don't have to go back and re-rent shoes every game you play. You just rent them once and keep them until you're done playing, and then you carry them back to the counter and they spray them down, right? Mrs. Minette's favorite thing about the bowling alley is the spray. Sweaty shoes. So gross. Okay, questions? All right, let's move on. We're just zipping through this study guide. We have Linda here who joined a fitness cycle club. The graph below shows the amount of dollars, Y, she spent after X sessions. Okay, so our equation is going to be Y equals, right? Remember that Y is the cost. And then we're going to have to use this graph to help us figure out how much each session costs. Okay, so let's find the slope up here. What's my vertical increase? 20. And then if I'm going to go over to my next perfect intersection, it's $20 for how many visits? To the 2. So I have 20 over 2, which simplifies to 10 over 1. So what does my slope mean? How much does she actually pay per session at this Cycle Fitness Club? $10. So it's going to be 10x, $10 per session. And then I heard plus 60. How did you get that, Dasha? Mm-hmm. That's probably her membership fee. They don't call it a membership fee, but if you join these kind of places, you pay just to be a member, and then you can go use their facility. Yeah, you're going to have to ask Mrs. Minette to okay it, though, because I can't get into that while I'm making a video. Yeah, she'll let you go. I can't get into the pass system. Oh,
Miss Marsh?
she's going to the nurse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Marsh? I did the equation for like y equals
Okay, good.
10x plus 60. I did not plug in the 200 because when I had the 10 and the 60, I just knew what to do.
That's okay as long as you show your work. Okay, this next question, Ryan, wake up, sir, is saying how many sessions could she visit for $200? So we're going to use our equation because we can't see from the graph, right? It doesn't go up to the 200. No, you're okay. Go ahead. What's your thought?
Yeah, it's like vacancy for 100 is 4, like 8, like 200.
You're so close, but if that was if there was no membership fee, then yes, that would work. But because she started out at the $60, like she's actually going to get to go more than 8 times because she already paid the $60. What do you think, Charlie? You're saying 14. So how did you get that?
Same here, 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot. Here, I got it.
What'd you do, Jace?
I can tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I did 200 minus 60 and then divided by 10.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
didn't do that because when I had the 10 and the 60, I knew that I had to multiply 10 by 14 to get 140, then add 60.
So there's a lot of different ways you can get there. I'm going to use the equation we created, which is going to be the exact same math that Jace just described. I put the $200 where the cost is, because that's how much money she has to spend. And then I'm going to subtract the 60 from both sides, right? I have a two-stepper here. And I'm going to end up with 140 equals 10x. And then when I divide by that 10, I get 14 sessions. So using the equation is exactly the same process that Jace did. He knew he had to subtract the 60 first to get down to how much money she actually had for the sessions, and then divide by the 10. As long as you show me your process, you're going to get full points on that. You just can't write 14 and not tell me how you got there. That looks a little suspicious, right? Last page. You guys have done great. Hopefully you're finding that you're going to be very confident and successful tomorrow. I hope so. It's only easy because you guys know what you're doing, right? All right, we've got 2 streaming services. So many streaming services. We have Power. This is actually the name of one of the services. I don't know if that was as obvious. Power is the name of one. It charges $75 for installation plus $9.95 a month. Who can tell me what my equation would be for this? Vlad?
Equals 9.95x plus 7.
Perfect. Right? This is the cost. This is the per month. And this is the installation. So we found the equation for this power company. Now we're going to find how much would it cost for MediaNet. And we have a table here to do that. So I need to figure out how much do they charge per month. So I can see here that we're adding 12 each month. So that's going to be my rate. So my slope is 12 over 1. What would my equation be? I know Vlad knows. I would like to hear from someone else. Sean?
Y equals 12x plus 60.
Where did you get the 60 from?
It's the initial cost.
This, because it lines up with this 0, that is our installation fee. So we have the cost per month. And then this one, the $60 is the installation. And like Sean pointed out, we know this because we have the 0 and the 60. That tells us before you even start the service, you paid $60 for them to come hook up whatever they needed to. All right, now we're going to use that information to make a decision here for Maya. She wants us to subscribe for an entire year. Which is the cheapest option? Okay, really quick. We've been talking about months. She wants to subscribe for a year. I have to do a conversion here. How many months are in a year? 12. So write yourself a note. That's 12 months. That's a very easy thing to overlook. That they actually want it in months, not a year. So now I'm going to figure out which one's cheaper. Right? Do you know, Dexter? Which one is it?
I put letter X and I want to go back and see what the name of it was.
The first one you think is the best? Okay. Vlad, do you agree? Okay. Here's how I'm going to check that. I'm going to use my equation for both of them. And I'm going to replace x with what? I'm going to replace x with 12 because it's 12 months. So when I do that, I find out that the power streaming service is about $8 cheaper, right? Well, I'm sorry, $10 cheaper, about $10 cheaper. So the power streaming service is cheaper.
We're almost done.
Now, you could have explained it in a different way, but I have to see your work. Okay, if you just write one of the answers here, I can't give you the full points unless I know how you got that answer. Any questions for the good of the group? Your quiz is very similar to this. Like, very similar. Okay? Yep. Oh, we'll do that in just 1 second. Okay, turn this over to the front and write parent signature at the top.
I do trust you.
That means you're taking this home with you so that you can prepare. You could watch the video again in your spare time. Maybe it'll help you go to sleep tonight.